Goodbye to blueberry pie. Good riddance to all the socials I had to go to, all the lodges I had to play, all the Shriners I said hello to. Hey, LA, I'm coming your way. That's living for some people, for some humdrum people, I suppose. Well, they can stay and rot. But not Rose.
Hello, BroadwayWorld.com. This is Karen Mason, and I'm here backstage in my lovely dressing room doing GYPSY at the Broadway Westchester Theatre in Elmsford, New York. And I'm happy you're here. I actually started singing around the house when I was a kid. My sister, my older sister, or as I like to call her, my vastly older sister, and I used to do shows for my parents. And they graciously sat and watched and listened. We would do these things called 4th of July specials, and Kathy was the director, that's my sister, she was the director and producer and star and writer, and I was the ensemble. And we just started putting on these shows, and I just loved singing. I would sing around the house, we would do songs. My parents were amazing in that they always took us to go see musicals. We grew up in St. Louis, so we'd go to the Muni Opera to see shows. I just always felt that this was something, well, I always felt like it was just home for me. The first Broadway show that I saw, that I was in the audience, was, I went to a Catholic girls' school called Sacred Heart of Mary in the Midwest. And on our junior trip, we had junior trips. It was like 40 girls and 6 nuns, and we came to New York from Chicago. And the first show that I saw on Broadway was Hello, Dolly with Pearl Bailey. And I was devastated by how beautiful the theater was, how exciting everything about being in that theater was. It's where I wanted to be, you know. There's almost a religious experience that goes with seeing your first Broadway show. It's spiritual. I didn't really start training until I was older. In college, I started taking voice lessons. In high school, I would do the shows because it was the way to meet boys. You know, I guess it was always the practical approach to musical theater. I moved to New York in 1978 with a gentleman I met in Chicago whose name was Brian Lasser. And that probably was the biggest turning point in my career, was meeting Brian. I was kind of floating around, just not sure what I was going to be doing, and always knew I wanted to be in theater, was doing a lot of community theater, always singing. And always trying to just, express myself through music. And I met Brian at this place called Lawrence of Oregano's. It was a restaurant in Chicago that had singing waiters and waitresses. And so Brian was the musical director, and I went and auditioned, and we started working together, and we worked together for 16 years. And honestly, that was the turning point in my life, was meeting him. Because he believed in me, and we just formed this bond, this working relationship that lasted for 16 years until he passed away in '92. And so, I continue studying. I'm always taking voice lessons. I'm always trying to expand what I do because I think it's really important. I knew as a kid that I always wanted to be a performer, but I don't think that I really had it solidified in my head until I was much older. I was much too frightened of pursuing it. I knew in my heart I wanted to do it, but my head kept saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And I was doing all this community theater, and I remember there were some people who said to me, go now, get out, because if you don't, you're going to be 50 and saying, I wish I had. And I thought, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. Why don't I have the guts to do it? So that's why meeting Brian was the turning point for me, because then I thought that this is a reality. this has the potential of being a reality for me. I owe him everything. My mother, in some ways, was trying to not push me in another direction, but make me keep my options open, which of course I read as, you're going to fail. Because she said, you know, get your degree, do this, do that. They were supportive of my performing. They were very supportive of my performing. They just, I think, as probably is true of most parents, don't see show business as a particularly, it's not like you're going and studying to be a lawyer. So they didn't quite see the, you know, the stability in show business that going for another career would have given me. But they did support it and never got in my way. They just wanted me to have other options. My Broadway debut was actually a show called Play Me a Country Song, which is in the lexicon of flops. We closed on opening night. It was not quite the first Broadway experience I expected, but it was a Broadway experience, and you know, it was a lot of fun. But Jerome Robbins Broadway was something I did. I took over for Debbie Shapiro when she won her Tony and left, and I got the opportunity of coming in and doing that show. And that was amazing. Well, I played Mazeppa in Jerome Robbins Broadway when I was doing that show, which, by the way, was a remarkable show to be part of. 62 people in that company, and I was the only non-dancer. And to watch that man's choreography night after night with those brilliant dancers was a total thrill. But he did originally choreograph GYPSY, which is the show I'm now doing at the Broadway Westchester Theatre. Please come through August 4th. And I got a chance to do Mazeppa, which was, well, in 2 weeks I had to learn how to play the trumpet. And much to the, well, let's see, I guess the consternation of my neighbors, I did actually learn how to play the trumpet in 2 weeks. And because they said, well, you know, we can have it played from the orchestra. And I said, absolutely not. I am going to play it. It's my moment, and I'm going to play that damn trumpet. And I did. I learned how to play it badly, and I love the role of Mazeppa. She's, well, as I said to the three ladies on our first day of rehearsal, we have three amazing talents playing the strippers here in this show of GYPSY. And I said to them, it just stinks that I work hard for 2.5 hours, you show up for one tune and stop the show. And it's true. That song is a gift from God to a performer.
If you want to make it, twinkle while you shake it. And if you want to grind it, wait till you've refined it. If you want to bump it with the trumpet. So get yourself a gimmick and you too can be a star.
I have 5 CDs that I'm really lucky that I that sounded like incredibly blatant self-promotion. I have 5 CDs. Cabaret has been really good to me. I am very lucky that I'm able to do theater and also cabaret and concerts. And Brian and I both met doing more cabaret concert type of stuff, you know, just singing, nightclubs. And although we both wanted to be doing theater, it was really the cabarets that allowed us to perform all the time and explore who we were and explore the type of singer and arranger that he wanted to be. I love doing cabaret. I really feel lucky that I get a chance to go back and forth, because to be able to work with people like with Brian Lasser, with Dick Gallagher, with Christopher Denny, who is now he's been my MD now for quite a few years. And since actually Brian passed away, actually in '92. And Alex Rybeck and Michael Orland and all these amazing, amazing talents. my director, Barry Kleinbort, and then we did 5 CDs because I wanted to do them, which is a lovely luxury. You know, I think the first one Brian and I did in 84, 85. And then the second CD was when I was doing Sunset Boulevard. And it was after Brian had passed away, and I realized I really wanted to do a CD of his music. And so we did the CD of Better Days, which, by the way, actually won an Emmy, a Daytime Emmy in 1998 for the song Hold Me. So, you know, it's that point on, we did a Christmas CD. My husband, Paul Rolnick, is also a writer, so we do some of his music. He produces the CDs. It's really, you know, it's like Ma and Pa. It's great. I love doing that. We'll have a new CD coming out, hopefully this year. I'm really lucky. I get a chance to do what I like to do, which is sing. And along the way, there have been these little impediments that have stopped me from singing, but you know, I'm really lucky at this moment in my life. I get a chance to sing and work with people I like. When I heard that they were going to be doing GYPSY out at the Broadway Westchester Theatre, I thought this was an opportunity that I needed to pursue because it was doing a role that I really loved. Every belter, every woman who's got a strong voice wants to do this role. It's amazing. It's got the best music. It's got every possible thing I could ever do in one show.
We have so much in common. It's a phenomenon. We could pool our resources by joining forces from now on. Have a dish, have a fork, have a fish, have a pork, put your feet up, feel at home. Have a smoke, have a Coke, would you like to hear a joke? I'll have June recite a poem. Have a lychee, oh Mr. Goldstone, tell me any little thing that I can do. Just try, and you're gonna see how you're gonna not at all get away from me.
I just thought this was great timing, especially with Patti LuPone doing GYPSY in the city. I thought, you know what? If this is here, I'd like to be doing it at the same time. I'd like to be pursuing the role. I did the role out at the Muni last summer. But, you know, I think it's always important to be close to all of the casting people, the directors, everybody, you know, choreographers, musicians, writers, composers, everybody who's got new projects going, and to be doing an important role close to New York. I think it's just really important. Because as lucky as I feel I am going back and forth with cabaret, you know, it's always being able to keep my chops up. I think it's really important that people also see you do a role and do it successfully, hopefully. You know, that I don't mean that to sound arrogant, but I'm, you know, every once in a while you just happen into a great cast, and I have happened into a great cast. I'm really lucky. I have Rick Hilsebeck to play opposite. He makes it just easy. Just easy. Kelly Barrett plays GYPSY, and she's amazing. And just the ensemble, you know, they just kind of carry me through the show. So by the time I get to Rose's turn, it's like, okay, get off the stage. I want to sing by myself now. And it's just great. I think when you attack a role, any role, you know, it's always trying to find who that person is, where they settle in you. Because basically we're just all an amalgam of every emotion, you know, and some just are more prevalent. And to find the what is Rose, to find that ambition, to find that, I mean, the thing that I think fascinates me the most about Rose is her clarity. Some people might call it denial, but she is totally clear about what she wants. She is empowered. When something gets in her way, she just recreates something new. I don't think I've had that kind of ambition and clarity and strength and empowerment in my life. And it's something fascinating to explore that and then suddenly find yourself maybe doing things that you are a little bit more out of character for you. And, that's a real strange and good byproduct of acting, I think, is exploring those parts of yourself and then going, you know what, I really like that. That part I'd like to have a little bit more of. Doing the role of Rose is, it's quite a journey, a lot of times when you're doing a role in a musical, there isn't the depth of the journey that Rose has. And you want to make sure that there is a journey. And sometimes you achieve it, sometimes you don't. But that's, where you get your technique, so that when you're really in your head, maybe not making the journey, it does look that you are. Some of my favorite moments in GYPSY are some of them, certainly the big moments at the end of each act. Everything's coming up roses. I love that kind of, it's not madness, but she, again, it's that direction. She, something has happened in the road, and she is down for like 30 seconds, and then suddenly has a new plan, and is ready to get back up and try it, and is as clear as she can be about that moment.
No, Mama. And now she says I can't make her the actress she wants to be. The boys walked because they think we're finished. They think we're nothing without her. Well, she's nothing without me. I'm her mother, and I made her. And I'm going to make you now.
I, Karen, have a tendency to be a little bit more self-indulgent when I get upset. And so mine lasts a little bit longer than 30 seconds. And so that is, I admire that she, okay, this has happened, now what? Now how do we do this? And to share that with Kelly is great. The first time we did that, Kelly and Rick, both of them are really, there is no such thing as being alone on stage. No such thing. Because you've got the lights, you've got the sound, you've got the audience, you've got everything that's been set up with your fellow castmates up to that point. And when Rick and Kelly and I are on stage for Everything's Coming Up Roses, and the first time I approach Kelly with, I'm going to make you a star, she balks. And that fear, the first time we did it, I thought, I love that. Because it's like, okay, she's kind of, it's just one more thing that I have to push against. And with Rick, it's that same, he's trying to placate me, and it's like, no, no, no. I am pushing, and I have this vision, and I love that.
Like the lights, we got nothing to hit but the heights. I can tell, wait and see. There's that bell, follow me. And nothing's gonna stop us till we're through. Roses and daffodils.
I love that. I love that moment. I love Rose's turn because, Rose, it's her perceived moment in the lights. It's I think what every performer thinks about. I know, I always envisioned my big Judy Garland moment at the Palace. When I was growing up, I was going to have my Judy Garland moment, with Karen and lights behind me. Okay, so it's Rose. But that is her Judy Garland at the Palace moment, it's just, here's how it's going to be. And it's there's something a little ugly about it, and something a little crazy, and something, just powerful and clear. And then it's over, and you're back in reality. And sharing that with Kelly after she comes in is, it's scary. It's scary to think that somebody is that, one direction, that there is no turn signal on Rose. Basically it's straightforward. And I love those moments. I love the moments with Rick where, Herbie and Rose are falling in love. And yeah, it's just lovely. It's just lovely. Rose is a great gift. Thank you, BroadwayWorld.com, for coming here to the Broadway Westchester Theatre, backstage in my dressing room. As you can see, me and my cohort here have to get ready to do GYPSY. We have an afternoon performance and an evening performance, too, today. Just wanted to say thank you so much for coming and sharing this evening with us. We will be here doing GYPSY until August 4th. So please, go to the website. Go buy your tickets and come visit both of us here at GYPSY.
Mama, please take our advice. We aren't the ones. I'm not Fanny Bryce. Mama, we'll buy you the rice. If only this once you wouldn't think twice.
Got my tweed pressed, got my best vest. All I need now is the girl. Got my striped tie, got my hopes high. Got the time and the place, and I got rhythm. Now all I need's a girl to go with them.
You either got it or you ain't. And boys, I got it. You like it?
Yeah.
Well, I got it. And everything's coming up rose. Everything's coming up roses. Everything's coming up roses. This time for me. For me. For me. For me. For me. For me!